Hello and welcome to a quick take, hot take, flaming hot take.
Rapid fire take
of USA 0, Colombia 2 in the Copa America Centenario opener. We are recording immediately after the final whistle, maybe 60 seconds after.
There might have been a bathroom break. Sometimes you gotta go.
We haven't even had time to close the window here in studio. This is going to be a very, very short show. It's a thing we're experimenting with, of maybe just giving our immediate reaction. The long version where we watch the game a second time and have a deeper take to follow. All right, but first, Taylor, we lost 2-0.
We did.
Let's start with just our emotional reaction. How do you currently feel?
Frustrated, and not in the way that I thought I would be. I expected that if I were frustrated coming in after this game, it would be because Klinsmann did something silly, the lineup didn't make sense, the U.S. didn't execute. And it seemed like in the first half, the United States executed its game plan, looked good on the ball, and basically had two mistakes. It was poor marking on a corner where there was a design set piece to lose a man, which was successful, and then it was, I would say, a foolish defensive play from DeAndre Yedlin that concedes a penalty.
Okay, let's start with maybe what we did like, or at least what we're not angry about, right? We're not angry about the lineup from Klinsmann. It's exactly the lineup I would have gone with, given the recent games. And I thought the system was kind of smart, right? We noticed the balance on the wings that we thought was a good idea.
Right. We noticed, especially in the very beginning, what you'd have is every time Colombia had the ball, Ospina had the ball, or there was a set piece, right, to clear. You'd have Dempsey push forward and you'd have Wood push forward, essentially negating the entire right-hand side of the field for Colombia, forcing them to either go long or play left, which is what the U.S. wanted to do because they had players dropped off.
Then Zardes is deeper and a more defensive. So at least we're sort of, even when they have the ball, we're controlling where they go.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And so then as the half progressed, what they started doing was pushing Zardes forward and moving Dempsey out wide as well. And time again, we kept seeing Ospina go to take the goal kick, try to take it short, realize he couldn't, and then wave everybody forward and then boot it long.
And if you listen to our preview, we said we've got to make them play it long, don't let them get a passing rhythm. And I would say we went through the game, for most of the game, doing that.
Yeah.
We never let Colombia get in rhythm and get their short, quick passes going. If anything, their best opportunities, apart from the two goals, were their best opportunities from open play were quick balls in behind, and they were mostly, not always, offside.
Exactly.
Right?
And they were mostly in the second half once the United States more or less were pushing. I say more or less because it wasn't always obvious that they were really trying to get that goal.
We'll touch on this maybe even later in this quick take, hot take show, but second half we didn't push as hard as I would like.
Absolutely.
I like a slow build-up play if it's going somewhere. The last 7 minutes when we're 2-0 down, I really was screaming for... I'm almost ashamed of myself. I was screaming, kick it long.
I mean, no, you weren't. I'll back you up here. You weren't screaming. You were just more like, hey, guys, you're down 2-0. You need to do something.
Yeah.
And I know that Brad
Fried...
Fried...
Brooks Cameron, right? Someone's got to just put it into a danger zone.
And that's the thing, is like they were clearly, even you make that comment, but there was that one sequence when Jeff Cameron had the ball and was just dribbling for 30 seconds, and there was no movement, nobody trying to get open, and it was just too slow from the U.S. And I mean, and that was, I think, a symptom of, I'm going to call it like a double backbreaker in the first half.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. were executing the game plan, I would say more or less perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you have that corner kick goal.
Yeah.
And so then right there, it's kind of a backbreaker because now all of a sudden you have to adjust because you have to go at Colombia a bit more than maybe you wanted to, at least in the first half.
Should we talk about that goal then?
Sure.
Or do you want to talk about this
because then I want to say basically, but then you can kind of adjust. Then it's right near the end of the half, and it's sort of like, okay, we get into halftime, we can make the adjustments, and we can chase that one goal, and then we're 1-1, we're off. And then you have a penalty, and it completely changes what you're going to do to the point where it kind of changes nothing for Klinsmann because he didn't really do anything differently to start the second half.
True. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Should we do the two goals, though?
Sure.
Unfortunately, we have to. So the first goal in, the 8th minute or so, comes from corner kick. Jeff Cameron concedes the corner kick with a really good tackle. He gets across, tackles well. So he's kind of my hero at that point. He's already done a pirouette coming out as a Zidane roulette thing, coming out of the back, and then played a beautiful pass. I'm really thinking this is a Jeff Cameron game.
Yep.
And then Colombia score on a corner kick. Christian Zapata, the centre-back, number 2, loses Jeff Cameron and volleys it. Yeah.
And it's a great volley. It's a great delivery. It's, I think, really all you can say is it's just kind of poor marking from Jeff Cameron. Because
I disagree. backing up a bit, we said set pieces, US would have the advantage.
Right.
And I meant aerially.
I feel like I've been lumped in here when you say we.
Okay, I said the US would have the advantage on set pieces, and I meant aerially. We win things in the air. I didn't think about Colombia having a clever designed play, and that's what I think this was. Because if you watch, and we'll rewatch for the longer show, right? I don't think Cameron loses Zapata. He tracks him the whole way. But Zapata does a clever thing where he goes around the back of, I think it's Rodriguez and someone else. Is it Bradley?
It's Bradley and James Rodriguez.
Bradley and Rodriguez. He goes around the back of them, so Cameron has to go the other side and try and follow him. And as he's trying to follow Zapata, he loses track of the ball. So he loses the ball, he doesn't lose Zapata.
I mean, but by definition, he let Zapata get away from him. He's lost his man. And it is a very smart run from Zapata, and he does use a screen. But my argument would be that if you're Cameron, you recognize that that's going to happen because of the way they lined up on the set piece, or you bust your butt to get back on the other side. And I think he's watching, as you said, Zapata. Yeah. He is not trying to get in front of him goal side. He's trying to make sure that he's in a position so when he comes into the he scored. Like it's sort of like he's waiting for the ball to come in for the header, and he's not waiting for the ball to his feet.
Yes.
And I think that you're right. It's basically a combination, I would say. He's not on the man the way he should be, and so then he's watching the man and not the ball, and that's when you have the goal.
Okay, so there's your first goal. And then the second goal. Let's start with, should it have been a penalty kick or not?
Yes.
Yes, it absolutely was.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I mean,
Brad Friedel was making a strong case for DeAndre Yedlin's innocence.
If that's what Brad Friedel wants to call a strong case, then Brad Friedel should not be a lawyer.
I sort of felt like Brad Friedel was like a public defender lawyer defending someone who was obviously guilty. He was like Jimmy McGill in the opening episodes of Better Call Saul. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With those kids that I think had broken into a graveyard, and I won't describe what they did, but it was not good.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. It did seem a little bit like he had made his case and then sort of had to continue to defend it. And then it was like, my client is not guilty. Well, we have video evidence of him, robbing the store. Even so, like he did say that at one point, it's like, I mean, yes, it hits his hand, but it's a question